Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. And we're starting here with a relatively exciting rumor. But this rumor is coming from a very good source. We're talking about an upcoming PlayStation showcase or state of play. So we have a report here from Push Square. They say Sony will host a PS5 live stream in late September, which could be a PlayStation showcase, but is more likely to be a state of play. That's according to Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb, who has a strong track record when it comes to being accurate about these leaks or rumors. So he says here on his live stream, quote, "I'll point out what I've heard, and this one I feel comfortable saying, yeah, you can write headlines about it if you want. Sony's planning a state of play, or maybe a PlayStation showcase, but probably a state of play for the end of September, or before the end of September. So we're going to get updates from Sony here pretty soon," end quote. So Jeff Grubb's comments came as part of a bigger conversation about the live service title Fair Games, following certain rumors that we covered in the last video. But yeah, this is basically our regular update from Jeff Grubb on when Sony's going to be doing a new show. For those who have been following for a little while now, you know that when it comes to this specifically, that being PlayStation State of Plays or showcases, Jeff Grubb, I believe, has a 100% track record. He has not been incorrect. He doesn't necessarily give us specific dates, and he always seems to be somewhat unsure if it's actually going to be a showcase or not, although he is saying it's probably going to be a state of play. I think that would be a safe assumption. He's letting us know it's going to be in late September, probably the last week or so. So at this point, I think the question is, will it actually be a showcase? What are the chances Sony could actually be preparing a proper PlayStation showcase for September instead of a regular state of play? Well, I will say Sony does have quite a bit that they could end up bringing to a showcase if they wanted to do one. We've had the Venom game rumored for a long time. We know that Cory Barlog's new game that he's been working on for many years now could be revealed at any time. We know that Sony has a myriad of live service titles. We know that both Bend Studio and Bluepoint have probably decided on what they're going to do next, and you know, they could, if they really wanted to, announce their games early. We know that Naughty Dog can show more of Intergalactic. They have a second project that's in the works that hasn't been revealed yet. And there's Media Molecule and their new IP. We are expected to see Saros gameplay before the end of the year. So in reality, there is quite a bit on the table. You know, I didn't even mention something like Wolverine either, right? There's a lot there that Sony could bring to a PlayStation showcase if they feel as though the timing is right. But I'm going to, recommend we just assume it's a state of play just to play it safe. But if you look at Sony's track record when it comes to state of plays for the last year and a half, this is basically what we're looking at. January 31st, their closer was Fizzant with Kojima Productions. May 30th, Astrobot. September 24th, Ghost of Yotei. Then we go into 2025, February 12th, Saros, and then June 4th, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because there's a clear pattern that Sony has established, like a very clear pattern, where every 3 to 4 months they do a state of play, and the last 5 to 10 minutes are dedicated to a new first-party announcement or a couple of first-party announcements. So I could see them doing that once again in September. But, if we get any more updates on the exact date, what might show up there, and whether or not it will actually be a state of play or PlayStation showcase, I will be sure to keep you guys updated. But yeah, if you were wondering when the next PlayStation event's going to be, seems as though it's going to be at the end of September. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which is Sony making the announcement of the Helldivers 2 Halo ODST crossover. It is real. And so it's a full war bond here that is going to launch the same day that Helldivers 2 releases on Xbox. I suspected that if this was real and was what they were teasing, this is when it would release. It makes the most sense. And so, yeah, as you can see here, they pretty much went all out. It says the legendary Warbond marks a brand new tier in the Warbond lineup, and we've gone all in to make sure it lives up to the name. This one's a tribute to a long requested crossover packed with details that fans will love to discover. The Helldivers Halo ODST Legendary Warbond lands in the Acquisition Center for 1,500 super credits, a step up from previous Warbond tiers, and packed with gear worthy of the legend. A quick heads up, Legendary Warbonds aren't compatible with the new Premium Warbond token launching August 26th. So if you're planning to deploy with ODST gear, make sure your super credits are locked and loaded. So very interesting what they're doing here. They're doing a new version of a Warbond, or I guess we could just say a more expensive version of a Warbond. And I guess they figured doing the Halo ODST collaboration would be the best time to do something like this. But yeah, kind of crazy, man. I have to say I was not expecting Helldivers 2 to make its way to Xbox. I just didn't think that that was something that was really on the table for Sony, let alone doing a full-blown Halo crossover. But hey, if Sony's trying to entice Xbox players to buy this game and be excited for it and buy some microtransactions, I mean, doing a Halo crossover will do it, right? That makes the most sense. So there you go. It's real. It's happening. And let me know how you feel about this Halo Helldivers crossover. But moving on to the next topic, I want to give you guys a small update on the PlayStation Plus Premium Classic titles. So it was discovered that the ports of Resident Evil 2 and 3, specifically the PlayStation 1 ports, do not offer trophy support, and this is, I think, immensely disappointing to a lot of people who are looking forward to playing these games on PlayStation. This isn't Sony's fault. Obviously, this is a Capcom thing. For some reason, Capcom is not putting trophy support into the titles that they bring to PlayStation Plus Premium. They've been doing a good job supporting the Classics lineup for the subscription service, but they've definitely been dropping the ball when it comes to trophy support. So yeah, I mean, if you really want to play it, if people are excited to play these games, I think they're going to do it, you know, whether or not there are trophies there. But there's no denying that having that trophy support, especially if they offered platinums, would have enticed quite a few people, I think, to play these games. But it is worth noting that you can actually buy these games standalone if you're not subscribed to the PlayStation Plus tier that offers them. They're going to be $10 each. So there you go. But we are going to move on to the final topic of the video, which is just something interesting that I came across, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. We have Snake voice actor David Hayter kind of chiming in and letting us know whether or not he thinks Metal Gear could continue without Kojima and whether or not it would be good. So when asked whether or not a new Metal Gear game could be possible without Hideo Kojima's involvement, he says, will it be the same? No, there's no way to replicate Kojima's exact genius, his exact weirdness, his specific personality. However, to David Hayter, that's not a huge deal. When I was a kid, I loved Tim Burton's Batman and was like, that's how Batman should be done. And then Christopher Nolan does Batman and you're like, oh, that's pretty badass as well. So will it be the same? No. Could it be amazing? Sure. So I just thought that this was interesting because I don't know how many people would agree with David Hayter. Personally, I do agree with him. I think we definitely could get a good Metal Gear game without Kojima's involvement, but I also agree that it simply wouldn't be the same. Will we eventually get a new Metal Gear game? I'm sure we will. Will there be a lot of Metal Gear fans that will just completely shun the game because Kojima's not involved? Absolutely, yes. But you know, I think the way that Konami's handling it right now by remaking these titles and kind of treating it with the respect and the care that they deserve, I think it's, you know, it's good. And it's a sign that they actually understand that they have to treat what Hideo Kojima and his team created here with the Metal Gear series with a lot of care. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts on that, guys. That's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.